Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Billabong Revolution Winter Wetsuit for winter 2014 into 2015. So the Billabong Revolution is kind of a mid-range wetsuit, so not the cheapest wetsuit that Billabong do and not the most expensive, sort of sits in the middle somewhere. Usually when suits go around that sort of price bracket, they are more geared up towards flexibility. And which is true with the Revolution, but having said that, it's still a very warm wetsuit with lots of thermal lining and lots of features which promote warmth. But a great looking wetsuit. This year they've sort of tinkered around with the styles and the designs of the suit, and they've come up with this sort of like one sort of cuff which is in a different colour. So you get the sideways seams coming across it, which is a little bit more unusual, but doesn't affect the flexibility. But I think it looks quite nice. You've got the sort of blue with slightly lighter blue and a lime there. And they're sort of running through their range. They've got a bit more sort of like unorthodox styling on their suits, which is quite cool to see someone do something a little bit different. But that's the black one with a slightly different cuff there as well. So yeah, nice looking wetsuits, and always a really big seller with us because they've got a good reputation. Nice and warm, but still very flexible. There's two types of neoprene which Billabong do in terms of the super stretch, the really lightweight, flexible stuff which you get in the more performance wetsuits. They've got what they call the AX2 neoprene, and then they've got the Xero foam. Now the Xero foam is the real top end stuff. It's their new innovation basically, and that's the neoprene which contains a lot more air, which makes it lighter and it insulates you better as well because there's more air inside the foam. The AX2 is still a very high grade neoprene, loads of flexibility running through the entire suit, but also just sort of loads of stretch and a good quality sort of jersey over the top of it, which makes it a really good quality suit, good super stretch, but it doesn't have that Xero foam. So the Billabong Revolution is built of the more sort of super stretch neoprene. It's not the Xero foam, but it's got that super stretch running the whole way through it. So yeah, good soft, lightweight, flexible wetsuit, which sits in the mid-range. So you don't get the Xero foam, but you do get the sort of like Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Billabong Revolution Winter Wetsuit for 2014 into 2015. Great looking wetsuit. It's a mid-range wetsuit, so it sits between the Billabong foil and then the more expensive suits as an option for someone who wants a flexible suit with loads of warmth, but lots of flexibility as well, which is primarily geared towards. It's a chest entry wetsuit. It's 5'4", so you've got 5mm of neoprene on the lower body, around the legs, and up through the middle of the section of the suit, the core of the wetsuit where you need more warmth. Then it moves to a 4mm around the arms. Okay, they've got the pinched cuffs on this suit as well, which makes it create a better seal with your gloves, less chunky as well. But that's a 4mm in the upper body. Used to be a 3mm, but they've moved to a 4mm. Basically, because the quality of neoprene is so good in these suits these days, they can afford to have 4mm in the arms and not really sort of affect the restriction or the flexibility too much. The quality of neoprene is sort of leads me on to the next point. Billabong have got the standard super stretch now, which is in this wetsuit. Super stretch neoprene the whole way through, lightweight, full of air, loads of flexibility and nice and light. Then obviously you've got the new innovation from them, which is the Xero foam. The Xero foam comes in the more top end suits like the Xero Furnace and up from there basically. So the Revolution sits in the middle, thermal lined the whole way through to keep you nice and warm. We'll show you that when you turn the suit inside out. Minimal panelling, minimal seams on the wetsuit, which is again all about the flexibility. So the seams on the wetsuit are strategically placed to make sure that they don't affect the performance of the wetsuit and inhibit your movement in any way and don't affect the flexibility. And also just large panels of neoprene promote dynamic movement and lots of flexibility. You can see an example there. The stitching misses out the bum and it's arced into the lumbar so that when you bend forward it doesn't affect the movement of the suit. And it's the same around the top of the chest as well. Top of the back as well. We'll turn the suit inside out in a sec to show you the thermal lining. The actual look of the suit has changed quite a lot this year. Billabong have really been playing around with their design. They've got this kind of, I think it's asymmetrical kind of thing, but this one is just really one arm, just sort of slightly coloured differently, just to give it a bit of a different feel, mix it up a little bit. The black one looks quite nice as well, just with a little bit of a change on the arm of the suit there as well. So it's quite nice. I do like what they've done. I think it looks good. This particular suit is in a chest zip. So the chest entry system, the Billabong standard system, nice and straightforward, dry max entry I think it's called. Basically zip comes across here, inside of the wetsuit comes up nice and high, and then the zip is sewn over the top. You open up the neck nice and wide, turn it inside out, get it on, chest zip goes up and over your head, And the benefits of a chest zip is the fact that you don't have a broken collar, so there's no zip running through the back, so you're less likely to get flush throughs because it creates a better seal with your neck. And also for the movement of the wetsuit, you don't have a zip running through the back, which is going to restrict you in any way, so it's a nice little touch. Single line collar on the Billabong suits, which basically means there's only one piece of neoprene, so it's less tight around your neck, which feels nice and much more comfortable than the double seal neck. But the downside is, because it's weaker, if you do fall off or anything, you're more prone to flush throughs when you're duck diving, if you're going through white water, that kind of thing. One thing Billabong do is they dip the collar as well, so it goes underneath your Adam's apple, which is a nice little touch, just makes it a bit more comfortable. But again, the less neoprene that's there, the more likely you might get a bit of a flush through. But basically, it's kind of down to you which you prefer really. But definitely very, very comfortable. Further down the suit, you've got the standard Duraflex knee pads run over the knees, just really strong material which protects the knees. And then you've got the embossed back of the leg as well. They just take a little bit of the neoprene out there, and that just basically promotes better flexibility through the back of the knee. All of these things you probably wouldn't notice too much, but they're nice little touches just to make it a bit more of a comfortable performance wetsuit. So that's everything pretty much going on the outside of the suit. You've got a little toggle here just to fasten, and you do have a key loop inside here, so if anyone that's got sort of just sort of a non-electronic key, you can pop it in there. So it is an option on the suit. We turn it inside out and show you on the inside. There's a few sort of changes from the Billabong range this year. Basically, the Xero foam has come in. And it's kind of Billabong's equivalent to the changes like the Techno Butter in the O'Neill range. Then you've got the E4 neoprene in the Rip Curl range. And basically, these are just this is sort of a comeback on that basically. So it's nice to see sort of Billabong following suit, doing something a bit different. But the foam, the neoprene does feel really, really nice. The thing they've got sort of inside this suit then, which they didn't have this much of this in the previous season's suit, so it's a bit of a change with the Revolution. Billabong do like to sort of tinker around with this suit. The shape's the same, but you do get more of this thermal lining. And this thermal lining is a recycled material as well, so it has got the eco-friendly points on it. And basically it's a very tightly woven, non-absorbent insulation which runs through the centre of the suit. And basically any heat that leaves your body, instead of being lost slowly through the neoprene, which does happen, it's basically retained inside the suit for longer, and this does make a big difference, this stuff. And it also dries nice and quickly as well, to mean that your wetsuit should be dry by the time you get back into it for a second session. Liquid taped across the whole inside of the suit as well. Doesn't feel the best against the skin. I don't particularly like the feeling of it on your skin, but having said that, it does make the suit very, very robust, and if it doesn't really bother you, then it shouldn't really be an issue at all. That runs through the inside of the suit the whole way through, which makes it very, very strong. Also keeps the water out really well as well, and you get loads of that thermal lining this year. It's the whole way through the middle of the suit. So although this is still a very flexible suit, you can really feel it in the foam, loads of flexibility. They lose that liquid taping on the arms, give you more flexibility. Yeah, it does feel sort of a little bit heavier than previous seasons because of all the thermal lining, but basically it's all about sort of compromise if you want the warmth. Okay, so that's pretty much the Billabong Revolution, everything that's going on inside this suit. Hopefully it answers any of your questions. But a great looking wetsuit. I think it's really nice in terms of design. It's pretty sort of subtle, but still looks really nice. And I'm sure it'll be a big seller this year.